Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again. This is the Wazobia gang. I'm not alone, guys. I'm not alone. Please let us welcome tonight Jibrin Aminu of the African Fighters and Demola Odewade Isimeme of the Kingdoms Broadcast. How are you doing today, Jibrin?
Before I talk, five bottle of NSC, please,
For
VSOP
who? For who? Who are we giving it
for
to?
for all of
Eh?
us, for all of us.
He
Make
said
we use
five
that.
bottles
Make
of
we use that
NSC
one bottle.
VSOP. He said one for the DJ, one for the head man. He said one for the staff, two for in table.
Oh yeah, now. Oh yeah,
Nice,
now.
nice,
Ladies and
nice.
gentlemen, thank you. I'm here. Big shout out, big dog. Ebuka, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, my brother. King Dems, how you doing today, bro?
All good in the hood. And of course, we're in the hoodie in the hood. The weather is cold. This is the longest winter I've ever experienced. I don't know what's up. How are you guys
Oh my
coping?
god. It was so
Nice.
frosty this morning. This morning I was about to go to work. I looked outside and I see everywhere white. And now that one
Hmm.
they was pass. I would rather see snow than see all this frost
The
in the
fog.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
I
It's a
was
bit
like,
up and down.
it was one of them days.
The weatherman says there's going to be snow very, very soon as well. But we'll see how it goes. Let's
whoa.
just talk, let's just reflect a little bit on our week. So I'm going to start with you, Demola. You know, coming off that, how's your week been based
Ah,
on the event of last weekend?
man. It still leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, And being, according to Jibril Aminu, President Israel Adesanya fans association, I've had to answer a lot of questions from different people. But in retrospect, I think I did see something from DC, and he was like, "Oh, Adesanya did look fantastic, in the first round, you know, and that maybe he should start taking up interesting fights instead of taking up fights that have a build up to title contention." But when I think about it, there are still, interesting fights he could have. He could be fighting the loser of this fight that we're previewing. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, there's Hamza Chimaev, the Wolf, in the waiting. So the middle weight division has opened up to be interesting. So we now have a couple of former champions in the top five, and it makes it look more competitive.
So you're suggesting that you'll be fine for Easy to go up against one of these guys or the
Yeah,
deadly
he's fought. He's fought. He's
Kamzat
fought. He's fought the two of them already, right? So it will make for an interesting
and
matchup.
lost to the two of them.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a storyline there already, and of course, there's this conversation going around about who is next in line. Is it Imavov? Is it Hamzat? But from the body language of the Nawai, it looks like they're trying to make a case for Hamzat to have it because he is kind of like long overdue for him.
Mm.
So let's
Okay,
see.
okay. Jibrin, what are your thoughts based on the events of the last weekend? How do you reflect on it almost a week after?
Um, you know what? Something I realized after we did our review about the show was that we overlooked something. Remember when Pereira was fighting Jamahel and he got kicked in the nuts? And when the ref tried to stop it,
Oh, that's it.
and
Easy
he
trying
was
to
like,
Pereira.
he said, no, 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 no. And then
Yeah.
in the second round, just before he got knocked out, he got poked in the eye because he
Mm-hmm.
felt he was doing well and he felt that Imavov was struggling. He thought, oh, I
He
think
did not
I'm
want to
having
slow
an
the
edge
momentum.
here. He was like, let me continue. And then he switched
Yeah.
stance because he was not seeing very well with the eye that he was poked in. And then immediately he got caught with the overhand right. And this is me grasping at straws, looking for explanations
I
onto
didn't
why
even
he got caught like that.
I didn't even
So
Yeah,
understand that.
so
I
I
did see
thought
that
about
in the
that.
replay.
I thought about that and I was like, maybe Easy can actually beat this guy if not because of that eye poke. Well, maybe Easy still got it to be a champion. But hey, uh, I don't want to be making excuses for him. But yeah, big shout out Imavov. Came out, did what he had to do. But I think I told you guys before that fight that I am not overly confident with whatever the outcome might be. At this point,
Mm.
I have already given up on being hopeful with our quote unquote three kings. Um, Nothing will make me happy like seeing them back in the title picture again. But at this point, I might as well aim low so I don't get too disappointed. Um,
Yeah.
again, I agree with Demola, which is something that I have probably said during our review last week that loser of Drakus and Strickland would still be a good fight for Easy because they've already got history. It's easy to sell. Um, However, UFC in Saudi Arabia doesn't always come around. UFC Fight Night. Would the
Yeah.
UFC think about doing a pay-per-view without a title for Easy versus one of those guys?
They can do
It
Abu
w- it could
Dhabi.
sell it could sell a pay-per-view, but I don't know how they're gonna do with the amount of money they pay Easy. But we will see. And the card that we are going to get into right now, UFC 312, UFC
Mm-hmm.
Fight Night in Saudi last week is more stacked than this card. This card is rubbish compared to that easy card. We know which one
Yeah.
is the real pay, we know which one is the real pay-per-view, and we know who is the real main event. Anyway, so that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
I was gonna
shit.
talk about yeah, I was gonna talk about it. So UFC 312 is set to be an exciting event, guys, taking place on February 9th at the Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, guys. I You were saying there about the card if it's stacked or not. Somehow, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. So I'm gonna ask Demola, what do you think about this card? Just overall, is this gonna be an interesting one, or is this just one of those events?
So I actually think it's actually going to be an interesting one because for me, I call myself a nerd of the sport. I've been following the sport for a good number of years now, and of course, I've been
Yeah.
subscribed to UFC Fight Pass. I think since probably around 2019. So, one thing I've learned about this sport is big names don't necessarily make good fights. So styles make fights, and you really don't know what to expect until come fight night. And Jibril calls me the junkie that watches the prelims. I don't ever miss the prelims. And over time I've discovered that a lot of times, right, there are a lot of hidden gems in the prelims. And often than not, I tend to enjoy the fights, in the prelims than even a lot of the main cards because these
Mhm.
guys are up and coming, these guys are hungry and they put it all on the line. So a lot of times the fights that you get to miss, are usually the
Good
more
fight.
interesting fights. Yeah. And they have, a a good set of matchups in this fight in this fight card. I think one that's quite interesting to me is, the protege of Volkanovski versus the protege of Ilya Topuria. Ilya Topuria's brother, Alexander Topuria, is going to be fighting a guy called Kobe Thickness. That is Alexander Volkanovski's protege. And imagine Volk is going to be in the corner of Thickness and Topuria is going to be in his brother's corner. So it's going to be like another Volk versus Topuria. So we've
Mm,
got like really interesting stuff, for for this card. And of course, the Anzac region, that's the Australia and New Zealand, they have quite a number of fantastic up and coming fighters that are hungry and
mm,
they're very good, but people don't really know about them. So for me, coming from the angle of the nerd of the sport, I never consider myself a casual like Jubril considers himself. So trust me, we're in for a treat. It's not
It is
necessarily big names, but it's interesting fights. Trust me.
interesting fights. Yeah, I
So
mean,
for me,
yeah,
my
the
verdict
three
is I'll say right now a 7.5 over 10.
over 10. That's a good rating. Right. So, Jibrin, have you had a look at the card from top to bottom, or do we need to introduce you to any of the to it?
I think there are so many UFC debutants on this card. I had a look, and
Hmm.
you know me, I dey like drop facts. Here is
Six
a
fights.
question. Here is a trivia question. In UFC 312, okay, I like flags. In UFC 312, how many Americans are on this card? And mind you, we have 15 fights. How many 15 fighters, 30 fighters? How many Americans are amongst these 30 fighters? Hey,
There are
Buga,
only
stop looking
two.
at the card.
No,
Americans. I
only
can
two.
only think of
Only two.
Sean Strickland right now.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
then one
all
other
right.
guy in the prelims. Yeah, there are only two
So
of them.
we've got three Americans. We've got Cody still undefeated, lightweight. He's fighting a Chinese Rongju, Chinese fighter
That
named
guy.
Rongju.
That guy is
And we
scary. Cody Steele. Sorry to interrupt
uh
you. You remember what happened in his Dana White Contender Series, right? The first fight he was meant to have in the Dana White Contender Series, the fighter pulled out when he saw him. It's like
hey,
he just developed cold feet. Then they had to arrange a new matchup for him to beat somebody to get into the UFC. That guy, watch out for him.
well, it was is it that guy that Dana told him, "Don't worry, we would get you an opponent before the
Yes,
end of this season." That
exactly.
was him.
That is the guy.
Okay. Then the next person is Tatiana Suarez that is fighting in the co-main against Wei Li Jiang. Undefeated
Your cousin
Tatiana
from
Suarez
China.
as well.
Your cousin
Yeah.
from
So
China. Jibril is
中国你
China
好，
man.
中国你好吗？Maya. Then obviously the main event Sean Strickland. So three Americans, same in Easy's card. In the last two UFC events, we've seen over 50 fighters. Over 50 fighters, and only 6 of them are Americans.
Of Americans.
That
Yeah.
tells you how
Yeah.
that tells you how global the sports is right now. And we know
That's
one of the
impressive.
good things, one of the most important things about traveling and taking fights outside of American soil is because of things like this. Things like this are the reasons why we have been calling and advocating for UFC Africa to happen. If UFC Africa happens, we would see at least 80% of the fighters on that card will be African fighters making their UFC debut. That would be huge because, as we know, it's not easy to actually take care of logistics and transport and visas for fighters into America, because obviously
Yeah.
we know how
It's
difficult it
difficult.
is to get in there. So bringing a fight to a region that barely gets to see it opens doors for talent that we don't have idea we will see. Hence why
Mhm.
in this down and under that they are going to in Australia is closer to Asia. So we would see
Yeah.
Koreans on the card, we would see Chinese on the card, we would see New
Indians. Yeah.
Zealanders, we would see fighters that
Yeah. There's an
There's an
Indian on
Indian.
here.
There's an Indian, Jibril.
I should
Oh
do.
yeah, the
I'm
Indian,
yeah, yeah.
the Indian with the 800K followers. I saw something about that on social media. I think this is his second fight. He probably lost his first. Can't remember very well, but he was in that Singapore contender
Crowd.
series. What's that thing they're doing in Singapore, looking for a fight or the next UFC fighter or something like that. They
Mm.
do a ton they do some sort of like series in Singapore. The Indian guy was there, and Indians and followership, obviously, the UFC will jump on that. Even though,
Yeah.
there's an open secret. I probably shouldn't be talking this long. There's an open secret that the social media numbers of India doesn't really translate to money. It just translates to likes and engagement, but money doesn't come from there because
That's very true.
the monetization there is in very, very small peanuts. Nobody you would not get better YouTube revenue from there. You would not get better. That is there. It is worse in Nigeria, but people are not ready for that conversation.
Really, because
Yeah.
when I look at my YouTube analytics, I do have what's it called, audience from India, and I see, man, it's adds little or nothing to the revenue. And of course, YouTube actually did invite me to the creator community today, so
Congratulations.
Congrats,
thank you,
congrats for
thank
that.
you.
Right, so let's come back to you, King James. Now, what fights on the prelim? Because we're not going to waste time today, especially on the prelims. Is there any fight on the prelims that interests you, that maybe, or any fighter that you want to highlight just before we get into the details of the main card? Any
On the
guy?
prelims, to be very honest, the fight that catches my attention is
Another
okay.
one.
You have the early prelims and you have the prelims. So let me start with
Yeah.
the prelims. The fight I mentioned earlier, Colby Thickness versus Alexander Topuria, is going to be a war. But Alexander is actually very good, but I don't think he's at the level of his brother. So I think my money is actually on Volk's boy. That's Colby Thickness.
They
It's
are
gonna
both
be,
making their
Wait,
their
is that
debut.
guy's is that Kobe's last name really Thickness?
yes, Thickness.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It's an Australian guy.
Thickness. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
interesting name.
I'm not saying anything before they remove your monetization. Go on.
Okay, and in the early prelims, the fight I'm interested in is Cody Steele versus Zhu Rong. Cody Steele is coming in with a lot of hype.
No. You should ask the Chinese man here. How do you pronounce that Chinese name?
Zhu, is it Zhu?
Who?
Okay, I'm sorry.
So his name,
What Jibril
first name wrong, last name Ju, wrong Ju.
Wrong
wrong
Jew.
Jew. Oh,
Oh
he's a
yeah,
wrong Jew.
Shibushia wrong Ju. Sure.
Oh wow, interesting. So wrong Jew versus Cody Steele is one to watch out for.
It's
But
gonna be
my
a
money,
banger.
yeah, my money's on Cody Steele anyways.
Nice. All right. How about you, our Chinese friend, Mr. Debrun? Which fight on the prelims or early prelims are you looking forward to?
I'm not going to lie for you. I don't know anybody from the prelims except for that Cody Steele, and that Cody Steele, until Demola raised the thing up about Dana White Contender Series. I remember I saw him during that last year in August. September. Absolutely nobody where I know for there. This name kind of rings a bell. This Gabriel Santos, isn't it the same guy that fought Manel Cap that time that did well?
Gabriel Santos.
I can't remember, to be fair.
All right. So me, the fight I'm mostly looking up to, as you know, big sweaty men in the heavyweight division. I am waiting to see the killer Taliesin Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. The thing is, this fight, the reason why it's very high up there. Teixeira is 7-0, and all the 7 fights is finishes. The Baba is from Brazil, and he's a heavyweight that can bang. By the way, Justin Tafa is 7-4. We know Justin Tafa knows how to like
Stand and bang.
not ground and pound. I want to say, I don't
I
forget
said
the word.
stand
It's
and
one of
bang.
his. Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Mm.
He's
a banger.
He doesn't like distance because he's short and stocky. He likes to be inside the realm of fire
Inside.
and exchange. And they like fighter like that. If you are running away, but as heavyweights, we don't want to see what we saw from Javinho Rosenstruck and Palvovic. I'll be waiting to the call.
Engineer Sergey Pavlovich. By the way, Rosenstruck was actually cut from the UFC.
I wanted to talk.
He wasn't caught.
About that.
He wasn't caught. He completed his contract. So there is a thing about them not resigning you, and there's a thing about you fulfilling your contract. So he has fulfilled his contract. He's free to go fight anywhere. So, but then the thing is,
You can
we
see
don't
him in
know
the PFL.
we don't know if the UFC refused to give him a new contract, or we don't know if they
He
kind of like
decided to not sign.
they low blowed him with regards to the offer they are giving him, because when he was coming in, he was highly ranked and they gave him a very
Mm-hmm.
big offer. So I don't know. We don't know what the case is, but as we know, he has finished his contract and he should be leaving. I don't think the UFC would want to cut him. Reason being, the heavyweight division is one of the most, apart from the welterweight division, it's not very free flowing.
Stagnant.
Yeah, you are like only 2 wins away from title contendership. I've been a title contender.
Mm.
We've seen people lose, win twice,
And
bam,
they're still
title
there.
fight.
Yeah.
We've seen Derrick Lewis lose, bam, one knockout. Everybody is excited. We've seen Volkov lose, bam. He will be main eventing one fight night. So that heavyweight division, I think they need Javinho. I don't think they would have caught him, because to be honest,
Yeah.
the in as much as the promotion they claim to be, the promotion is bigger than any fighter, they would still want to have fighters that have recognizable faces, and just Javinho in the heavyweight division is one of the recognizable face.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Javinho was on this card, we probably and he's in the prelims, he'll be like, oh wow, Javinho is in the prelims. He would be doing good business for them. So I don't think they caught him. What was the question again? Sorry, when I went on this
The question is, what fight on the prelims are you interested in, and
Hey,
why?
I told you there is no fight in the prelims I'm interested in. The,
Okay,
the
let's
fight
move on then.
the
Yeah,
fight I'm interested in
let's
is in the main card, and that is Teixeira versus Justin Tafa.
let's move on. And we're gonna start with that one actually, because the other ones, yeah, this card is a bit and like Demola said, I actually do agree with you. So sometimes it is this type of cards that you need to
Mm.
watch out for, because a lot of
Now
them
them
don't
they
have
give
recognizable
bangers.
names,
Mm,
and they're gonna want to show something. And yeah, and we've seen it
I
before
ag-
where
I
some of
agree.
these cards are full of those
I
interesting
agree.
knockouts. So let's say we're not gonna waste time on this one. Let's go. So Demola, tell us, Justin Tafa versus Talison Texera. Who wins this one and how? What's the method of victory?
Hmm. Let me check who my money is on. Woo, 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 woo. I think my money is on the underdog, Justin Tafa. So the Teixeira guy is new in the UFC. Yeah,
Yeah, he just
he's
came from Contender Series, his
yeah.
first UFC
So
debut.
he's coming in with a lot of hype, right? But there's levels to the game. Justin Tafa is, he's a veteran. He's, tested. He's battle tested.
Yeah.
So I think the jitters of that UFC debut would likely get to the Teixeira guy, and the level of talent that is in the UFC pool is different from what you have in the regional scene, and what you have at the Dana White Contender Series level. So I know he's very good, but I think his all will have to go, and I think Justin Tava gets the job done. Maybe like a round two knockout or something.
Okay. Okay. What about you? What do you think, Japan? How does it? Yeah, I think this is the division that you like, right? These are big, sweaty men. So, how does this one end?
Omo, um, what I want to see another name in the heavyweight division, and I would hate for Justin Tafa to spoil the show of Texera. As you said, there's levels to it, and the way MMA is, in my opinion, is veterans, when there's a youngin up and coming, they don't try to strike with him, they try to wrestle with him.
Mm,
And Justin Tafa is not popular for wrestling. You remember when Talbot fought in the last card, and then he got schooled by
Yeah,
by wrestling, when everybody wrote
Barcelos.
out, they wrote
So
Marcellus out. So I don't think there's any schooling that will happen here. That we all come out and Tafa likes to fight in close range. This Teixeira
in the
guy
pocket.
has a lot of straight right knockouts, and he's also a kickboxer. So he's gonna come. He's gonna try. Whenever he tries to stand and exchange, I don't give them more than 3 exchanges. Somebody is going down, because at some point they will stand and exchange.
Mm.
After 3 exchanges, somebody is going down, and I think Justin Tafa is going down.
We can only
Right.
wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. We can only wait and see what happens. And for me, yeah, I think you guys are right. So wait, you're saying Tafa loses. Okay, so 1-1 so far.
Wait, who was
Yeah,
keeping score for our prediction of that last fight night?
is you know. You're the one that's keeping.
No, no,
What is this
no
cost?
be me, no be me keep scores.
He says
Oh
it's
yeah,
you
no, oh yeah.
now. Are you keeping records this time around, Ibuka?
I don't know.
No need. I mean, we're only talking about 3 of the fights anyway. Like we said, this card is not one of those cards that there are lots of people to discuss on the prelims. So yeah, we're just gonna skip this one. Maybe the next one. Right. So we're coming now. We're now on to a very lovely lady, one of the ladies that I think is in the
You are
fight
very,
game.
you are very polite, Ebuka.
When you said a very
Well,
lovely lady, I saw Jibril's body language.
yeah, I mean,
he doesn't like women MMA.
Oh no. I love Weili Zhang. Weili Zhang has given me 2 of my favorite female fights of all time.
yeah,
So I love Weili Zhang.
yeah.
It just depends on Tatiana Suarez if she comes to play. But Weili Zhang is going to bang you, no Didi.
Yeah, let's talk about
Is that not?
two interesting things here. Let me introduce it. So Zhang Weili defends her strawweight title against the formidable Tatiana Suarez. And there are 2 things here that we should look out for. Weili's versatility, right? So Zhang is known for her striking and grappling skills, making her a well-rounded champion, which is why I think she's gonna be champion for a while if she gets through this one, especially. Then Suarez's wrestling background could be a key factor in this matchup. So, guys, which one is going to win here? Is this going to be a striking matchup? Is it going to be a situation where Tatiana Suarez, with her wrestling versatility and identity, can she take this one via wrestling? I'll come to you first, Demola. Which is going to come up in this one?
First of all,
Go down
every
low.
first of all, every fight fan that is watching this event will be holding their pee. They want to peace. they'll be they'll be holding their pee until this fight starts. This is a 5-rounder, and we're going all 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Django Eli is fighting a wrestler. You know what is going to happen. We are just going to be seeing, unless something miraculous happens. So
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything exciting, even though Django Eli is incredible. She needs a very good dancing partner to put on a show. I don't think Tatiana is that person. I think Django Eli take this with unanimous decision. But you guys should reserve this fight for your piss break.
Anyways, I totally disagree with you on that one. I see Tatiana Suarez getting the job done. Nobody has been able to solve the puzzle that is Tatiana Suarez, and she in terms of her personal life, she's actually in the mix of fighters. Do you know her fiance is Patchy Mix, the bantamweight champion for Bellator. So she basically leaves, and breeds fighting. And the only reason why she has not become the champion so far is because she had to go through some injuries, and at some point she was even battling cancer, but she's
undefeated,
way
actually.
better now.
11-0.
So she is not just a wrestler, she is well-rounded. She's well-rounded. She has the reach advantage. She has the height advantage, and She's got stamina as well. So I really don't see a way in which Wali Zhang gets it done. And we've seen Wali Zhang struggle with, taller, slimmer fighters. Case in point, Rose Namajunas. We saw what she did to her in the first fight, and they said it was a fluke. Second fight, she wrestled her the whole fight, and we saw what happened. So, Wali Zhang tends to struggle with wrestling, and that is Tatiana Suarez's bread and butter. So for me, my money's on Tatiana Suarez. See her; she's the champion in waiting. To be very honest, in my opinion, except if something exceptional happens, she's got
And I
more tools in her arsenal to get
can
it done.
can I
Hmm.
counter disagree you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Tatiana is one of the female fighters that has the most finishes, although most of her finishes are likely guillotines or rear naked chokes, right?
hmm Yeah, her jiu-jitsu is legit.
But Zhang Weili has never been submitted before. Be it Rose was successful in that split decision victory that she had against Zhang Weili, and to be honest, that was a very close fight. A lot of people argued it was stolen because people loved Rose Namajunas at the time. Xiao Nan,
Chow Mein.
Xiao Nan in the last fight against Zhang Weili wrestled Zhang, and that did not work out for her. Zhang Weili has underrated wrestling.
But they're both
She
short. She struggles with taller fighters.
Yes, but what's her name? Tatiana striking is not all that. Tatiana striking is all that. All her finishes are from the ground. If she strikes and short people, as we know, Jang has good takedown defense, and even if you take her down, she gets back on her feet pretty quickly. If they engage on the striking, Jang Weili will make Tatiana suffer. So, in as much as you think Tatiana will get this done, I don't see any way she can submit Chang. So,
Yeah,
I think we are in a
we're in for a ride.
We might
what's
be
in
in
the
for a
mean?
unanimous decision of victory.
No, this one is
Likely,
definitely is that
likely going
is
to go to the
definitely
judge
is
scorecard.
is definitely going to the judges scorecard. Actually, if it doesn't go to the judges scorecard, okay, I go I go sample na one kinikon. What's they call her? Never mind. I don't promise una
He said
something.
5 bottles of NSC VSOP.
That's what we want.
He
That's
said
what we
one for the
want.
DJ, one for the headman.
Hennessy or nothing.
Oh boy.
All
I have
right.
I have no idea what alcohol prices are or whatever. Last week Friday, one of my friend, it was his birthday. We went to town, one Yoruba boy from Lagos. That the only thing he knows is bottle culture. We went to one lounge like this. He said he wanted, because it's his birthday, he wanted to buy, what thing they call that thing? Don Julo. I mean a Don Judo. For £600. £600, oh. I say, hey, for this economy, me and you they go the same work. I know your salary. You dey buy. Anyways, I don't know how we got into this conversation, but yeah,
Anyway,
five bottles,
guys, shout out
five
to
bottles of
everyone
energy.
watching us right now. Please comment, like the video, share, subscribe to all the channels. Shout out to you, Courageous Empire. Courageous Empire says this might be a hot take, but I'm going with Tatiana Suarez.
Thumbs up to you,
By
courageous.
second round submission. Yeah, that's very similar to what Demola said there. Yeah, that's not it's not a very hot take actually. I think that's something that we all believe to be an actual possibility. Tatiana is very well rounded, and her wrestling is going to be a very huge one here. Yeah, shout out to everyone watching again. Now, let's come to the main event of the evening, guys. This is where I think we're going to have to sort of, just before we wrap up. Dracos Duplessis versus Sean Strickland 2. Now, let's talk about, before I even introduce this fight, right? The first fight. Let's go back a bit. the first fight, I've seen some of it, and I think, in my opinion, I think Dracos won. But I don't know if any of you disagree. I don't know if any of you still think that that fight was, because it was a split decision, right?
Mhm.
That fight was for Sean. Does anyone think Sean Strickland edged it? Jibrin, Demola, do any of you think? Do any
Um,
of you believe that Sean edged it?
I think
So,
Dracos
so
won that. I think Dracos won that first fight. I don't think
mhm.
there's anything controversial about it. It was
It,
an
there is.
all
It
out
was very
war.
close.
I can't remember the
It was a split
rounds,
decision, so it was close.
It was
the
very
way I
close,
gave those
and I
rounds.
had my money on Dricos. If you remember, I did like bet quite a significant sum on
With
Dricos, so
my
I was
with
very
my
biased.
with my eye test, I think Dracos won it. Um, I honestly don't see any arguments there, although there was quite a few of that. I think for it to be a split decision, I think it was even unfair to Dracos because I thought it was unanimously won by Dracos. Anyways, this one, this one now, we are going to put an end to all that conversation. I think this would be very much um very much intentional between any of them. I think this will end with a finish. Um, but before I tell you who I think is going to finish, I will pass it to Mr. South Africa here, Demola, who is going to finish that fight.
So I think Dricos is coming in with a chip on his shoulder. And yeah, interesting. You called me Mr. South Africa. My friend in South Africa sent me a message about Dricos. And guess what she said? She said, "Your boy." I'm like, okay, excuse me. So the thing is, it's like certain people in South Africa, we know there's some sort of racial divide in South Africa, right? St- Um, Strickland, I said, sorry, Dricus du Plessis said some things, right, in the political space, supporting Donald Trump and, bigging up Elon Musk. And they said they told some things to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is making certain decisions to cut certain funding that is going to South Africa because the president of South Africa did something. I don't want to go into the details. And what my friend is telling me is a lot of them in South Africa are canceling uh Dricos right now, that they are no longer fans of Dricos because of certain, in quote, misinformation that Dricos has gone to pass on to Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So you can imagine a South African telling me, the president of Israel Adesanya Fans Association, referring to Dricos du Plessis as my boy. I'm like, wow, is that the way we roll now?
Is that
You
even possible?
people, Yoruba people say when a child is good, the child is the father's child. But when the child is bad, the child is the mother's child. So
Hmm.
South Africans are now saying that Dricos is my boy. Anyways, I accept Dricos. Anyways, so Dricos, I see him winning this fight, and I think he's gonna finish it, maybe by way of a submission. Yeah, I don't really see him knocking out Strickland, but I think he will likely submit Strickland. I don't know what round, but I'm watching
Hmm.
out for submission because
Yeah,
he
before
is really hell bent on clearing the
that
doubt
doubts.
in
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's minds. And Dracos is highly talented. He beat my boy, but I give him his respect. I give him his props. I give him his flowers. That man is highly, highly talented.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As I left you guys with a cliffhanger without telling you who I think is going to finish that fight, I think Dracos wins. And I don't think it's going to be a submission. I think it's going to be a ground and pound. I think Sean Strickland Chin will give up and then he will slump and then Dracos will finish with some ground and pound. Even though nowadays I realize he likes to when he gets a knockdown he likes to jump on the back, but I think it will be a ground and pound, which will be a bit more easier. This
Hmm.
whole Donald, it's a very, very controversial topic. I understand why you don't want to get too much into it, Demola. I
Mhm.
saw the tweet you were talking about Donald Trump talking about essentially translation for people that, because Demola is beating around the bush. The translation is that some white folks back in South
I
Africa.
have to be diplomatic, bruv.
Some white folks back in South Africa feel, or we are not South African, so I'll tell you what the narrative is. White folks in South Africa claim that the black government is taking land away from them illegally. They claim is their land, and then the black people of South Africa are saying that the land belongs to them, that the white people came. So that's the discourse around that
Well,
whole
we're not
thing.
here to discuss South
So
African
wait.
politics. So
I'm about to
let's
finish.
get
I'm
back
about
to
to finish.
some comments
I'm
here.
about to finish. I'm about to
Um,
finish.
He
So
says
I'm about
about
to
to
finish. Wait.
finish.
So now
Don't
the
demonetize
narrative,
our video, please.
the narrative out there that Dricos is the one that told Donald Trump about this thing is just absolutely stupid. Do you know that Elon Musk is born in South Africa? He knows everything. Elon Musk is, I think, is he half Namibian or something? Namibian by birth or something. So Elon Musk understand what is happening in South Africa. Is not the Dricos does not have to come and tell him anything.
Tell
For
him, yeah,
Donald Trump,
yeah.
for Donald Trump to come and tweet about this, is Elon Musk that told him, like, yo, this is what is going on to my white folks down there. So putting it on Dricos is unfair, even though
But he's supporting them.
I mean,
So
how is it?
they
I
just
don't even see
well,
how it is Dracos that is making it Donald Trump or
if Donald Trump is going to come and
Musk to do anything. That's weird.
openly, Donald Trump, the number one person in the world, right? Number one office in the world, will openly tweet about your people, and you, what will you do? Will you not support it? You will support it now.
I
What is
don't know.
Anyway, let's get
Let me
back to the
talk about
comments
Yoruba people first.
before
Then I'll
we
know.
speak about.
Mhm.
So, Courageous Empire here says, when I watched it live, I thought Sean won until I watched it again. Yeah, I think some of us are on that boat as well. We have PC Strickland MMA here. Shout out to you, PC Strickland MMA. You say Strickland 50-45. Just watch. I mean, I'm not sure. I expected a Strickland named account to say
Individual.
anything different, right? So shout out to you, PC Strickland. Please like the video, share, comment. Let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get it up. And then Courageous also comes back and says Sean has the jab and tip kicks. Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
these two guys, yeah, these two guys are really interesting. This is going to be an interesting fight. And when you look at Sean, he's up for it now. You know, he wants that belt back. I watched the press conference yesterday. He's up for it. He's ready.
It was
You know,
quite an interesting press conference.
you know, and you know, Sean being Sean was himself. You know, he was talking, swearing a lot, saying a lot.
Loose cannon.
Exactly. And what do you expect? He has this look now that is what do you think about his about his
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
That guy is a very, very interesting character. So before we wrap up, guys, let's take, I mean, I think we've already taken predictions, right? You know, so both of you think that Plessis Dracos will win this one. Who do I think will win? Well, I'm going to go against you guys. I know last time, even last week, as much as last week, I was saying it's going to be like on the money. This is Dracos' fight, but I'm giving it to the mustache, guys. The mustache always wins. So I think that shows his look, and his readiness for this fight shows that he's going to go on and win this one. And I think he's going to take I think he's going to take the decision here. So I agree with PC Strickland MMA. Shout out to you, PC Strickland MMA. Right. Courageous also adds, Dracos is going to make it look easy this time. Well, Courageous, you can, if you want to bet with me, we can make a little bet on that if you're up for it.
You know why I think in the last fight, why I think people thought that Strickland won that fight is because of how awkward Dracos is when they strike with him. Like even if a punch misses him, the way he like pulls high guard, the way he like takes a step back, it looks very awkward. And if you are a judge, it will look like if you're using the eye test, you will think that he's
That
being hurt. But
he's
meanwhile,
feeling, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
meanwhile, nothing is happening. That's one of the elements I remember that the judgment I made that time. I was like, these strikes that Strickland is throwing, they are not landing. It's just that Dricos is looking like they are landing when it's not. That's why Easy was calling him drunken master. Because because of his drunken style, you will think that he's getting hit, but he's not. And to be honest,
yeah.
I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I think that's the nature of how he
It's
fights, and that's
just
how
his,
he is.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just his stance and his walking step. I guess it's, yeah. But the guy looks like an iron. He looks like steel, like he's made of
It's
steel,
like a
man.
tank.
That guy is really strong. You don't want to get into a street fight with that guy. Like, yeah. Thanks everyone today for coming on. Okay, Courageous Empire says, I just want to see Easy versus Strickland too. Yeah, I know you. Well, Demon, I think you hinted to this earlier on when you said he might come back to fight the loser of this
Yeah,
one, which is
very
obviously a
likely.
possibility. And then both of them, either of them will jump on that chance, I think, to fight Easy again. So PC Strickland comes again. I was at the last fight. I watched a group of Dracos fans take off their South African rugby jerseys
Oh
right
wow! I should
before
have
the
worn my South
decision
African
because
rugby
they thought
jersey
he lost.
today.
This is 100% true. Well, PC Strickland MMA. Well, yeah, I do agree with you there. Yeah. Well, I've gone with you, bro. Or whether you're a bro, male or female, I've gone with you there. I think Strickland is going to win this one. Come on, Strickland, let's win this one for the USA. Let's make America great again on Sunday
Maga.
morning. And what do you guys think about the timing as well of this one? So the timing, I think it's gonna be on Sunday morning, right? This one
I think it's
is
usual timing. It's just
is
the
it
usual
usual?
timing. Yeah,
Wait,
11
3
starts
a.m.
at 11
GMT.
p.m.
Yeah. Yeah,
11
Oh,
they
p.m.
right, okay.
they
Oh,
make
so they made
the
it American time,
American
right?
time. Yeah.
well, that's what they always do with the Australian cards. Poor Australian fans.
Yeah, that's terrible
E-
for them though.
Even London, even the last London pay-per-view
The
was
la-
American
Was
time.
no, no,
yeah,
no, 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 no. It was the Manchester one.
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, Manchester
Manchester.
rather. Yeah.
Well, UK anyway. Right. Dracos, Courageous Empire, Dracos by second round
See,
TKO.
see Odogu and Chloe. Oh. Wait,
Who's that?
Odogu and
That's Burner
Chloe,
Boy.
Bonner boy. This
Oh,
Chloe, this Chloe
okay,
babe. She
that
don't come.
Chloe. I think, yeah, I think I've heard
She
of
don't.
heard
She
of
don't come
her.
Niger again.
Oh, she's in Niger. I heard of her
Interesting stuff.
shenanigans. Anyway,
This girl fine, sha. Go on. Sorry.
mm, yeah. Just before we wrap up, guys, a new video is dropping on Saturday on my channel, Chat with the Tycoon. Guys, go check it out when it drops. If you want to understand how to overcome fear, watch that video. I sat down with a psychologist. I sat down with someone who is into therapy and seeing clients with therapy and mental issues. Watch that video to understand how to overcome fear. Guys, before we head out, King Dems, is there anything that we should watch out for you this weekend? Is there
Oh,
any updates? Yeah.
Okay, I did interview the bantamweight champion at Brave CF. That's Nicholas Wende. That's my Zimbabwean brother. You guys should go check out that content. His story is actually very, very inspiring. He was something called a Dagger Boy. Dagger Boy is a construction worker. I don't know what they call them. What do you call them, Jibril, in Nigeria? Those boys
Construction
that work.
worker.
Yeah, boys.
Laborers. Those
Yeah,
laborers. I don't know.
and then he did work his way up to becoming EFC champion and now Brave CF champion and hopefully a future UFC champion. So his story is quite inspiring. That's the latest episode on the Kingdoms podcast.
Yeah, I
Do
think
well to
I've seen that
subscribe.
one. Yeah. Guys, check that one out too. Very interesting guy. Good chat. I've seen the video dropped 2 days ago. Go check it out, guys, on Kingdoms podcast. Jabrin, what are we looking out for from you, my brother, as we head out?
I guess we'll do a review on my show on Sunday. So the African Fighters podcast every Sunday, same
Yeah.
time like now, maybe an hour earlier from now. African Fighters
Yeah.
review Strickland versus Strickers, dropping Sunday live stream, and
Yeah.
yeah,
We're
I think
gonna be there, guys.
I'm gonna get back into interviewing fighters very soon,
Right,
so
right,
they don't
right.
so they so
Sure.
they don't forget about me.
Yeah, we'll watch out for that one. So just
And
before I head
still,
out, let me read some of the comments on here. So Courageous Empire says this is a terrible card. Well, yeah. Dominic Cooper, hello to you, Dominic Cooper. Please subscribe to the channel, my brother. Like, subscribe, and share to all your family. Shout out to you. Well done, you're a great guy. Well done to you. And Courageous Empire ends it as well with saying, and still. Guys, we have huge numbers watching this right now. Please get the likes up, guys. Get these likes up. Share the video, guys. Comment. Let's hear what you want to say before we head out. We're rounding up, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And until we see you again next time, God bless you. Take care of yourself. Goodbye and good night. Bye.